everyone, to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. I'm your host, Trent Denson. Got two really amazing guests with us today, Andy and Adrienne Neale, founders of Holistic Made Easy, and just some really amazing stuff that they got going on. Connected with them through the LT360 family. Shouts to Coach Scott, Dr. J, and everybody over there. Really pumped to get into this one, hear their whole story, everything they got going on, everything with Holistic Made Easy. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Trent. We're super excited to be here, and yes, I agree. I think our friendship and future ventures are going to prove to be super exciting.
Yes, I agree. Adrienne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So typically how we do it, we like to just take it back to early passions, kind of just your early passions for both of y'all, and then we'll kind of get into how y'all met and the whole story. So go ahead, take it away, Andy.
Yeah, I grew up in Indiana in the Midwest, and so I was ready to move out at about age 16. Right. I was ready to go, and I went to I guess we'll make this a really short version. I went to school for music, did contemporary music, performance and composition, and moved to Nashville to play music. I was in a band for about 12 years, toured everywhere, playing bass, and got really sick. That sickness, one of the problems with the sickness was it attacked my hands very severely with eczema, and so it got to the point where I had blisters and blood all over my hands, and I couldn't play anymore. And then it just kind of spiraled out of control. Depression, thyroid, hormones, you name it, adrenals, and it was really a nightmare for about 2.5 years.
Wow.
And so again, this is the very abridged version, but we got very passionate about holistic health,
right,
and weren't finding the answers that we really wanted with conventional medicine, and so went another route, and through people like Jordan Rubin, Dr. Josh Axe, Dr. Bernoulli here in town, Dr. Amy Myers down in Austin, several others we connected with, and slowly but surely I started to being able to close my hands again, and just got better. So so that was 4 years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and we started Holistic Made Easy just a couple years ago, and are really hoping to connect to an audience that is passionate about natural health and wants to get out there, and our job really, what we see it as, is a way to connect others. So so we're a connection, a kind of touch point.
Yeah, kind of what we're aiming to do is spread positive.
Absolutely.
The alignment's awesome. What about you, Adrienne? What's your upbringing like?
So I was also born and raised in Indiana, which is so wild.
Yeah,
because we didn't know each other.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Born and raised in Indiana, moved to South Florida when I was 17.
Okay.
Started in school to be an art major.
Cool.
Which is a complete 180 from what we're doing now. And actually worked in full-time ministry for a few years.
Wow. And
then went into event production. I worked with Dave Ramsey for a few years, traveling the country, doing all kinds of event stuff with him. Our son was born in 2014,
nice.
and about the same time as when Andy got the worst in his health. And so we came to this crux in our life of, okay, it's time to make some changes. So I started working from home, having clients, business admin, events, all that good stuff, and we started turning that corner into natural health and wellness.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And can you just speak a little bit more about the events and that's got to be amazing. Hearing Dave Ramsey, that's a pretty big name, and like traveling the country doing his events had to be really crazy.
It was a lot of fun. I literally met thousands of people in a very short amount of time. Traveled everywhere from Seattle to up and down the California coast,
nice,
to Texas, to Phoenix, Tucson, you name it.
Right.
I probably stayed there at least one night.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And Adrienne is really good at the details.
Yeah.
And I go out and kind of develop the relationship. Right. So it's a really, really great team effort that she and I have here. So, I go out and meet people like you and develop those relationships. And then once the rubber hits the road, I say, here you go, you can take care of it.
Execute this. It's not out.
Yeah, she's the executor. So she'll take it and produce the events and our speaker series and our masterminds and all that stuff. So she's a rock star at that.
That's amazing. Shouts to both of you for having that camaraderie and that connection and the collaboration and all that stuff. That's what it's all about. That's really, really amazing. So, current life, obviously Holistic Made Easy is the sole focus, and y'all got some amazing stuff in the works. Can you just kind of speak on all the stuff in the works, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you and I were talking about just before the podcast here, I'm working on updating the website, which has been something that's been needed for the last really year and a half. But you know, I'm not a web developer, and I'm finding that out more and more every day.
Right.
And so, you know, again, just kind of going back to relying on the help of others, you know, being able to ask those questions and say, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? But so we're developing the website, and the big parts of the website, I would say, is so we're really working on affiliates and partnerships, and we kind of started that in the Middle Tennessee area, but it's very quickly going nationwide, and so we're getting a lot of cool affiliates nationwide. Just did a podcast with a company called Nick Sticks, which is a grass-fed like beef jerky and stuff like that. So that's kind of my love is food, right? And so I love figuring out, you know, where those clean and natural ingredients and sourcing and that kind of stuff is. But we have everything from, you know, cleaning products. We have cool biohacking stuff like saunas and hydrogen water and EMF, you know, I would say blocking, but it's actually diffusion. It's even the next step up from blocking. It's really cool. So, you know, all that's on our website and stuff. So so we're really focusing on those partnerships and affiliates, and then the events as well. So I'll let Adrienne kind of speak a little more on that. But
Sure. So we are coming up on our 3rd annual Middle Tennessee Local Natural Health Expo.
Nice.
First year, we just stepped out in faith and felt like we needed to do something to help the community, uplift those local natural health businesses, and we were going to be happy with maybe 20 or 25 businesses. We had 52.
Wow.
And hundreds of people came through, and it was a great success. Last year, we had over 80 businesses join us, and again, several hundred people. We're on track to have another awesome event this fall, September 26th, down in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And we've got some awesome new speakers that'll be on the lineup this year too. So
can you share any of those details, or still lineup?
Sure. Yeah. So Paul Baratero, who is the founder of Synergy Science, he's one of our affiliates. He does hydrogen water, Key, which is the EMF diffusing machines. What am I missing? The infrared saunas, which they're amazing. He's going to be
whole house water filtration systems.
Yes.
And they've got some other stuff in the work as well.
He's got some really cool devices that help you just with holistic health. He's going to be one of our featured.
And fingers crossed, he's actually going to
guest
bring
speakers.
the developer from Germany who actually creed this technology and with the quantum entanglement and quantum physics of that machine. So hopefully he's moving here, and he's moving here in September, but we're not sure if he's going to move before or after. So, and then. Who else do we have on the docket? Coach Scott.
Coach Scott's going to be there from LT360. Yep. Dr. Lokenskard, Center for Holistic Biological Dentistry in Franklin. We've got Dr. Pete Stulak coming in as a guest speaker. He's really big into helping with stress and reducing that. And he's got a whole thing of natural supplements that supports your immune system in that. Dr. Danny Williamson, she's going to be with us. Integrative family medicine in Franklin. We've got a huge lineup of speakers that we're super pumped about this year.
Yeah, I didn't know all that. That's that's exciting.
Yeah.
Spread the Positive, definitely planning on being there, being involved, and promoting all the stuff that entails, because it's definitely, that sounds amazing. Super excited to hear a lot of those speakers.
I will say too, we also do a Mastermind Series. So we try to do that once every 4 to 6 weeks, and we were up until recently doing it in our home here, but we actually outgrew it, and so we're going to start taking it out to other places. So our next one is going to be at the Dotted Line, which is one of our favorite restaurants here in Middle Tennessee. They are a completely gluten-free restaurant. And then we're going to be doing a speaker series as well. So that is going to be more focused on having 1 or 2 of the kind of professionals or experts in an area speaking, and maybe have a few tables there, vendors and stuff like that might complement the topics that are on the docket for those evenings.
That's awesome. When's that getting started?
Well, we were going to be doing it in April and May, but we had to cancel those because of Rona.
It shows back to this fall.
Okay, just around September time?
August, September,
okay. That's awesome. Definitely keep an eye out for that. I'll definitely be sharing and showing any love I can for all of that stuff, because that just sounds really awesome. We did something that we called the Network Member Spotlight, where we did like a mini trade show, 8 to 10 vendors, and then had a panel. Dr. J spoke on it, and a couple other people that have been on the podcast. So we could probably collab on that too, because it sounds like it's pretty similar to what we're trying to do, as usual. So it's pretty awesome. Like it tracks right? One of the key topics that we always like to ask our guests on the podcast is tips and routines to maintain a positive mindset, outlook on life, how to deal with the stresses, the difficult stuff that we all go through. Can you both speak a little on that? Some of your, I always say, tools in the toolbox to overcome those, those tough times, or being down and out, those types of things.
Sure,
Yeah,
I'll
you
jump
start.
in. So one of the biggest things that helps me is starting the day off in prayer and meditation. Being able to dive into some scripture just helps set my mind straight. Chasing around a 5-year-old and the daily demands can just really pile up if you don't get your mindset straight first off in the morning. So that's how I like to start my day. And then something I'm sure Andy will address as well is retraining your brain, your limbic system. She's not a doctor, but she's professional. Annie Hopper created the dynamic neural retraining system that helps to rewire your brain.
Wow.
And so it supports your body to where that fight or flight mode that you're stuck in, that a lot of people are stuck in, can cause gut issues, anxiety issues, chemical sensitivities, all these things. But if you can rewire your brain, retrain your limbic system, that stuff can go away. You can reverse the effects. And so that's been a really useful tool in my toolbox, as you would say. The last couple of years, it's been very, very helpful in managing stress. And
where can you find more info on that?
Retrain, just put in retraining your brain.
Okay.
And Annie Hopper.
Okay.
Yep.
Is she here? Is she local, or where?
She is not. I believe
She's from Canada.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay.
in Canada, but
Okay.
she's got practitioners that have been trained to do this around
Everywhere.
the world.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Because it's helped so many people.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I would say is working out. I try to get in some lifting, a walk, at least 5, if not 6 times a week.
Yeah.
And then just getting out for fresh air, enjoying nature, sunshine.
Solid advice.
Yeah.
What about you, Andy?
Man, a lot of that, what she just said, is similar, and probably because we've been married for 10 years and we
10.
11.
Oh no.
I was rounding.
Coming up on
Don't
12.
ever do that. Don't ever do that. All right, but a lot of similar things. I was a personal trainer for quite a while. I had a personal training studio in Brentwood, so fitness is definitely a big part of it.
Yep.
And like she said, the retraining, I just started doing it pretty heavily about a month ago. And so just to give you an idea of my routine, I get up in the morning between 6 and 6:30, put my shoes on, go outside, and I start walking. And it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get through a full session.
Oh, wow.
And so I try to get through it twice while I'm walking. And,
Oh, wow.
and you're speaking out loud. People, my neighbors probably think I'm weird and stuff, but
That's
especially I'm always trying to biohack everything, right? So I carry a bow, like an actual staff with me, and I do stretching while I'm doing it and stuff. And But yeah, and at the end of your, basically you're going through and stating, you're retraining your brain, you're getting your limbic system right and all that stuff. And at the end, you go through your positive statements of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and the power of the tongue, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the power of the tongue is amazing. So, and then I would say 2 other things. Like, I've really gotten into Wim Hof. If you've ever heard of him, it's WIMHOF. And he has a breathing technique and then a temperature regulating thing that he does, and I've been doing that as well. So it's like 3 to 4 sessions of almost hyperventilating, but it's alkalizing your body. And so when you alkalize your body, many people know, probably listening to the podcast and know us, that inflammation, cancer, those kinds of things have a much harder time taking root when your body is alkaline.
Right.
And so it's pretty crazy. I mean, I've gotten to the point where on my 3rd or 4th session, I mean, I'm seeing bright colors and like visualizing things, and it's pretty cool. So I would recommend everyone check out Wim Hof. He also does a temperature thing where I'm doing cold showers now. So you work up to it though. You don't just jump in for 20 minutes for a cold shower. You do like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and do it. And then the sauna. I love the sauna, man.
Nice.
It's huge for me. The detoxification. It's good for the liver. It's good for the skin. It tones the skin. So many things with the infrared sauna, and how it penetrates deeper than a regular sauna, and those kind of things too. So I mean, there's a hundred different things that we do, but those are probably my 3 big
That's
ones.
some tangible stuff that I'm going to check out. So that's why we do this.
Yeah. And my mega mug.
Yes.
My mega mug.
There you go. Coffee level.
This is bone broth right here. So
Nice. Man, that's cool. And I love, I mean, y'all are so versed in all of these things that literally will make your life better. I mean, it's just health and wellness is such a hot topic right now, and it should be, obviously, but like why, how, I know getting sick was a pretty key component, but why have y'all stayed with it? Obviously the results speak for themselves and stuff, but like, where did that passion, I mean, y'all are passionate. Like, it's blatantly obvious that y'all truly care about what you're doing and bringing this stuff to the masses, because people don't know about it. You know, like, that's another thing with Spread the Positive. I'm always like, let's bring light to what's going right. You know, let people know things that will help them get better, because I mean, you got to go out of your way to find it. Yeah. It's weird. So I appreciate y'all being those people that are out here actually doing it and showing people that there is a different way. You don't have to just go take some pills, get a prescription, and be miserable your whole life. So, like, can you just speak on where that came from and why y'all are pushing so hard for it?
Yeah, I'll start with two things, and then Adrienne can add on to her. But I would say that, you know, for me, because I was in such a dire state of mind, and physically, like, I was just spent. I think that I really got to a point where literally I'd be driving down the road crying, like not being able to see the road because my hands hurt so bad. I could barely hold onto the steering wheel. And I remember coming home from band practice one time, I had blood all over my face, and I was just like, I can't take this anymore, God. Like, I have to find something here different, you know. And I've been going to all these specialists, and none of them were giving me really any hope. And so that the word hope is what stuck in my mind, right? And so I was just like, I want to be able to get through this, and I basically made a confession and a promise to God that if I did, I was going to commit my life the rest of the time to helping others overcome these things. That's you know, amazing. The depression, the physical pain, you know, the emotional pain. And so that the hope was really what it was. And then to touch on what you're saying, like, it is very important at this point in time, because unfortunately there is a dichotomy that is taking place, right, with a conventional medicine and pharmaceuticals and all this stuff that's being pushed on us. And then, like, if you're familiar with the Truth About Cancer or the Truth About Vaccines, Ty and Charlene, good friends of ours, we love those guys, and they've been really just coming out, like, saying, hey, 3 out of our 4 Twitter accounts were just taken down. Why? You know, this happened 2 weeks ago, you know, and so, and now, you know, YouTube's shadow banning them and all this stuff, and it's like, it's because it is going against that mainstream narrative. So, so Adrienne and I are very blessed to be in this, and, you know, pray to God that we're protected, and that we will continue to be able to push this positive, you know, motivation out there, and let people know that, hey, there is another option here. There is another option, rather than just continually being on that cycle of drugs and medication and pain. You know? So, Adrienne, anything you want to add to that?
So watching Andy go in that downward spiral was really tough. And being his caregiver and also having a newborn in the house when everything just kind of bottomed out was the most challenging season, I think, of our lives. And so researching and going through a dozen different doctors and trying to find answers, and that desperation, you know, feeling that at a very deep level. And once we started getting better, because I started dealing with some issues too, we wanted to get to the other side and help other people so they wouldn't have to hit the wall the same way we did. And we started coaching one-on-one, and that was great, but it was exhausting, and sometimes people wouldn't listen to what we were telling them and suggesting they do. And so we decided to shift that model to uplift those businesses that were already experts, and they could scale in a way that we couldn't. And so that's where our focus has been, is we want to uplift these people within the community that are excelling, and show our appreciation for them, and also hopefully bring them those people that need them most desperately, so that the people can get help, the businesses can do what they're created to do, and we can help everybody.
That's amazing. I've you know, I've not the health issues, but definitely the mental health stuff. I've definitely had my struggles with that over the years, and that's what really was so amazing about LT360 and the results they're seeing. And I mean, their numbers speak for themselves. It's incredible, like the anxiety and depression and that type of stuff. When people come in and they start doing what they're told by, you know, Coach and Dr. J and the team and the coaches there, the results are insane. And like, I didn't have that. Like, I had to kind of, you know, figure it out, and it was not fun.
I agree, man. And when I originally, you know this story because you heard it with the radio show last week, but when I originally went in for Coach and you know, heard his seminar, and then went again and heard the seminar, and went again, I was just like, surely sooner or later he's going to recognize the same dude's coming in here and sitting in the same spot. But yeah, you're right. Finding those people, right? And one of the things that Coach, he told me a couple times the first time we met, went to one-on-one, is he said you're going to end up being with the Eagles, but the Eagles don't have a whole lot of friends up top, right? He said there's chicken and turkeys all over the ground. When an eagle's flying, you gotta, know that you gotta kind of leave those chickens and turkeys and take flight and be with those high level guys. And he's one of those guys, I mean, he's so impactful.
Yeah. It's contagious, man. It's amazing being around them, and I've been able to record the show with them for a while now. It's just like, it's the best weekly refresher. It's like something I look forward to more than pretty much anything during my week.
See, now I'm gonna start coming and sitting in there. I'll just stand
crash.
behind you.
Yeah, just crash. You know they're co-hosts. It's good. I love that, man. It's so exciting. That transitions well into another one of the key components that we always like to talk about is just that bigger picture approach to everything, not just business, not just your life. I mean, or your life, I guess. So y'all kind of already have spoken on this a little, but can you just dive in a little deeper on the importance of community, the importance of building that circle, that sphere of influence, all the people that are attracted to the things that y'all are doing, and why is that so important to y'all?
I'll jump in.
Go, let's go.
So a lot of businesses tend to become silos. They're isolated, they're trying to do things themselves. They can get only so far, right? So there's this synergy that happens when you can collaborate with other people. You get refreshed and encouraged, you think of new ideas, you think of new ways to collaborate, and that's exponential. And so we try to encourage that community because you can collaborate, you can reach more people, inspire more people, and everybody wins.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and just like your podcast, I mean, and going back to the Eagles, like those are the people you want to hang out with, right? You want to hang out with people that are like-minded, that are pushing the envelope like we are, that are go-getters, but understand taking the breaks, doing meditation, spending time with family, those kind of things too. It's a well-rounded, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we're called holistic. It's holistically mindset,
Yeah, that's amazing, and that's so true. The type of, or just from doing this podcast alone, let alone trying to spread the positive together for the past 9 years. I just saw that on my Facebook memories. It's been 9 years trying to fully put this together, and it's taken a lot of weird turns and taken me to some weird places, but the process and the podcast alone and the people that I've connected with and people that reach out and want to be involved, it's really amazing, and it's like the most rewarding thing I've been a part of, and it's just exciting. Like you said, you track the Eagles when you're pushing the mold. You're trying to do something different, trying to do something better, trying to bring the changes that we need. You can't these past 2 or 3 months and the most recent events here lately, spread the positive and holistic made easy. It's needed more than ever. It's a crazy time, but it's also a really exciting time in my eyes, because the opportunities that are there and the people that are showing themselves in not the best light are gonna get eliminated. That sounds harsh, but it's real, and I'm excited to be on this side of it, and I know y'all are too. So it's just really, it's exciting. So that also transitions well into another key component. What's going right? We got a lot of things that we've already talked about that are definitely examples of those, but just go ahead if you have anybody else, any people, organizations, articles you've seen, causes, initiatives, anything along those lines that you would consider going right and making a positive impact. What you got?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me right now, that moving forward in the next 6 months, is I'm super excited about all of our partners and affiliates.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to, and it was good that Rona took place here, because it actually forced me to get outside my box a little bit and start thinking, okay, what can I do? Since we can't do our events, what can I do? And so I made a goal. I'm going to do an interview every week, and I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 weeks now, but I just finally got the first one up on our website today, right? And so I'm super excited to, I've got a list probably, we had 83 vendors at our last expo, right? I want to get around to each one of them and do some type of a affiliate and partnership with them, so we can get the word out of those people, right? And then take that nationwide, And so that's what I'm super excited for our partners and affiliates. And we've got guys out in California now, Utah, Florida, that we're talking to that could end up being really cool things.
Absolutely.
There's several things that unfortunately they're still so brand new, I can't mention them yet, but working on some cool food things. Well, I can mention one that just popped, right? Our ready-made meals. So you can go to our website now and you can actually click on the ready-made meals, and we've got around 40 different locations around Middle Tennessee now. We've partnered with Paleo Works Kitchen, so Paleo Works is doing it. We're helping with the recipes and that kind of thing, so making sure they're holistic, and partnering with Coach Scott and LT360. But going around to be able to get your meals, save your time, save your money, honestly, and just have those meals ready. Pop it out of the fridge, take the lid off, and either heat it up, or some of them even like salads and stuff like that. You don't need to do it; it's just ready to go. So more things like that to come for sure.
Some amazing examples of what's going right. I need to fully get in on that ready-made meal stuff, because I get a little slack in my food intake. I'm not gonna lie, with the it's like fried chicken. Just be real. But anyway, this is so good, both of y'all, man. I'm just super grateful to have crossed paths, and thank you for hosting the podcast in your lovely home here. And man, it's just cool. It's just really exciting. I'm just it's like just gratitude overflowing, man. It's like a really amazing feeling. So got a couple more closing questions that we'll wrap it up, but we always like to ask, since you've been familiar with Spread the Positive for a while now, when you hear the phrase, who's one of the first people in your life that really lives out what Spread the Positive is all about?
I think of our friend Demetrius. Is
Nice.
that what you were
He
going
was
to
gonna
say?
be one of mine. Yeah. Demetrius is amazing.
Yes, Demetrius and his wife Vanessa Short. They just emanate light in Nashville and the greater community. They have Steps to Success, which is a 5K fundraiser that they do every year, and it is to help the Black community and uplift these young men and women who may not have the home life or the circumstances that they think they need to succeed. And so Demetrius comes in and just brings them this opportunity to do and become everything that God's created them to be. And it is just phenomenal. His energy is contagious. He always brings a word of encouragement. And just the way he loves on the community and really digs in. He digs in. I mean, life is hard, especially, now. A lot of people are in a desperate situation, but Demetrius just comes in and shines light, and he spreads the positive everywhere he goes.
He really does.
He does.
He's gonna be on your podcast.
Yeah,
He needs to be.
We need to make that happen. Sounds amazing. What's his program called? Or
Steps to Success.
Steps to Success. All right, I'll check that out. Shouts to you, Demetrius. That's amazing.
Buddy.
Yes.
And I think, Coach Scott is a huge part of mine. But we've talked so much. I don't want to give him a big head, because I know he can get a little cocky at times.
Hey, but you gotta be when you get there.
So I'm gonna say my buddy Jordan Tedesco.
Okay.
And he's another person that when you're around him, I mean, you just can't help but be positive.
That's awesome.
And he basically runs the program over at Healin 951, which is it's actually a food, but it helps supplement the body in a way that is very anti-inflammatory.
Wow.
And it's a fermented drink that you drink, and they've had all kinds of success stories. And it's spelled weird. It's spelled like the old English way. So Haelen. A-N, sorry. Haelan. See, it's weird. Okay. But it's called Healin.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But it's an old English spelling, 951. Healin 951.
Cool.
But anyway, same thing. It just, when you're around him, I mean, he's just like, he's happy no matter what. Like, he could have the worst day in the world, and he's still going to treat you with the utmost respect and make you feel like you're a king. Wow. Like, he's awesome. So, shout out to Jordan Tedesco. That boy is making it happen.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and I think that's so important, man. That's something I usually bring up on the pod too. Is just being conscious of that energy you're carrying, because it physically affects everyone in your presence. And the hard energy that you put out. I mean, that's everything. It's the most important thing. And
I'll say to that. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'll just say. So when we were talking about the brain training, the proclamations at the end, right, are really what you're talking about. It's talking that positivity and speaking it into your life, right? So mine, I have like 4 sayings. So mine is, I choose to be strong, healthy, and happy in my mind, my body, and my spirit.
Nice.
I choose to maintain a positive attitude daily, no matter what challenges I'm faced with.
Nice.
I choose to be confident in the decisions I make through the power of the Holy Spirit, which is given through Christ Jesus.
Wow.
And I refuse to allow my physical challenges to dictate my emotional and mental state of being.
Wow.
And so I say that at the end of the whole thing. I say that several times, and I make myself believe those things, So instead of living in the scarcity mentality, the depression mentality, those kind of things that can creep in so easily, because we're so busy, we're so stressed out, those type of things, just making yourself believe those things, right? And like I said, I mean, the Bible says the power of the tongue is so strong, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. What is it like if you say it out loud? It's 7 times, or like
right.
Trevor Moab
yeah.
stuff.
And I've written them down. I've had Adrienne say them and record them on my phone, so I can listen to somebody else saying them to me. So that's a lot of different things you can do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some tangible ones in this one. A lot of times we're just talking and there's a lot of stuff that comes up, but this one
people got to take notes.
Get your notepad out and take some notes on this one, man. This is it's what it's all about, man. And just thank you both so much again. holisticmadeeasy.com. Be sure to check them out. Follow them on IG, all their social media accounts. Just super, super grateful to have crossed paths with y'all. Like you said, really excited for future endeavors and all the other stuff that'll come down the line from. I mean, it's all of us trying to do such similar things because we have to, like that's what I always kind of get back to as well. It's like, it's not an option anymore. Like we have to do this.
Right.
So it's exciting, man. Holistic Made Easy. Andy, Adrienne, thank you so much for being on and hosting and helping out with this amazing production. I mean, it was good time.
We'll definitely have to post like a picture of the production behind the scenes.
We'll do a BTS. That's so good. All right, we'll jump off here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dang, that was good.
Okay, that was the warm up. Let's do it again. Let's do it right this time, guys.